tonight's movie is
It's literally called, and this
Tyler
is
Perry's Temptation.
It might be one of the longest.
Confessions of a Marriage Counselor.
That's like 10 words long. It's really. Hey, what are you going to see this weekend? Oh, Tyler Perry's.
Well, why do all Tyler Perry movies say like Tyler Perry's?
And then there's a hyphen.
Whatever. There's always a subtitle to go with it.
There's a semicolon and then
Yeah.
more stuff. That doesn't make any sense. Tyler Perry's Temptation. Confessions of
a
Marriage Counselor. Like, the first part's a title, the second part's a title. You don't need to put them together. That's two titles matched together.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but apparently, it's about a marriage counselor who starts cheating on her husband. And it takes 1000% bananas turns where this guy... how much do you know about it? I don't want to spoil anything.
I don't know anything about it.
Alright, so I won't go into much detail.
I like to go in totally blind. Anyway, everything I've ever seen or heard of Tyler Perry has been horrible.
100%
absolutely
dog shit.
Terrible.
Like, the Madea movies they're not funny. They aren't funny.
I only have one memory of ever watching a Tyler Perry movie, and I was in high school. We were on our band trip.
Oh my god.
Riding on a bus to Florida.
Oh, you had no choice but to watch it.
I had no choice but to watch it, and it was so bad. I don't even remember what movie it was, but it was so bad I was feeling physically ill with watching it because it was so unbearable.
I remember in high school we had a substitute teacher that just said YOLO and fuck the curriculum the teacher left us. We're just gonna put in a movie, and she did it was Tyler Perry's it was a stage play of Madea, because all these are stage plays that he turns into movies. The one he showed us was she showed us was, I guess it was older, it was from back in the day, but it was raunchy. He was dropping F-bombs left and right. We're literally, kids are looking at each other should we be watching this? Did somebody say something?
That's so awkward.
It was some crazy shit. She's like, fuck you, motherfucker. All this, it was really crazy. And we were freshmen. We were 14 years old. I'm very excited to watch this movie though. I think it's going to be a really good, bad movie.
I'm afraid it's just going to be unbearable. I'm afraid it's not going to be enjoyably bad.
There is some truly banana stuff that comes up. I can't wait to see it actually happen.
Okay, awesome. Well, I guess we're gonna get started.
Okay.
So we watched Tyler Perry's Temptations, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor.
It was terrible.
So essentially the overarching message of the movie was, if you cheat on your husband, you will get AIDS.
You'll get AIDS.
And die.
Literally, you'll receive the HIV virus.
So we'll start at the very beginning. So what happens is that the main character, but at the time it's really unclear if she's the main character or not.
It's not the same actress at all. It's she actually refers to it as her sister.
I know.
She says she's telling a story about her sister. She's a marriage counselor telling a story to the whitest couple on the planet.
So she's this black lady talking to this white couple, and she tells a story about her sister. Right. And so it's a flashback, but the thing is, you don't know what time it is, because it's sepia tone. Sepia,
I think.
And so it's has this weird tone to it, and it kind of seems like it's in the 1950s. But at the beginning, it started in modern day, so I was really confused about the timeline.
That was modern day. When they flash back, that was modern day, and they were supposed to be in the future,
Okay.
And way in the future, because the pharmacist guy looked like he was 65. He looked like he was 60 at the end of the movie.
We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. And so
there's way too much stuff to get into this movie. It's so crazy.
Okay. So we flashback. It's a flashback about this family, and they're real religious and stuff. And the main character falls in love with her high school sweetheart, who she's known since she was 6 or whatever.
Are they both really religious?
I think so.
Just she was. I don't know.
I thought they went to the same church.
Oh.
But
she was very religious.
Whatever. So flash forward to maybe present day.
She was she's duh, I've only slept with my boyfriend. I had to save myself for marriage. I'm a good Christian.
So now we're in the present day, and this girl, the main character, she is working for is it an online match thing for millionaires?
Yeah, it's a millionaire matchmaking service. where Kim Kardashian works and does nothing except for
savagely
savagely criticize everything that she wears into the office.
And you have to keep in mind the main character is actually kind of pretty.
She's a good-looking woman. Like
she's nice looking, and Kim Kardashian's always like, "You look like trash."
Anywhere outside of Hollywood, if she walked into a room, she'd be the most beautiful person in that room.
I know. So it's just really awkward. So Kim Kardashian's role is just to be a total bitch all the time.
Right.
And then the boss of both of them is Vanessa Williams.
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah.
I think it's
Vanessa Williams, yeah. Anyway, she has a fucking French accent, and it's preposterous. It is 100% preposterous.
It's so weird. And what's even weirder
it sounds like Pepe Le Pew, like, oh my darling, you're so beautiful.
And her name is Janice, which isn't like a French name.
That is not a French name at all. That's like a 40-year... It's like a 40-year-old woman from Iowa. His name's Janice.
I know. And so anyway, the main character, she goes on to meet one of their like millionaire matchmaker clients who...
His
name is Harley, and he is...
the third most successful...
like social media
mogul. There it is. Yeah, behind Zuckerberg. Except the thing that he does is exactly...
It's like face meet or something.
What is it, like face swap or some shit like that?
Or it's like class meet.
Class meet, that's what... Yeah. I guess you're supposed to meet people that you went to school with, but it's the exact same thing as Facebook. It's 100% the same thing.
Yeah, and so right off the bat, this Harley guy is like hitting on the main character hardcore.
Creepily, too. He's like obsessed with her.
Yeah.
Like...
And she just always is talking about her dream of being a marriage counselor, and it just seems like such a bizarre dream to be chasing your whole life. Like,
right.
I didn't really know that was an ambition that people had.
I think you kind of stumble into being a marriage counselor. It's like you want to be a psychologist, and then you're just like, nope.
And so anyway, things start to get really, the story really starts when it is the main character's birthday and her husband forgets. He's like...
Forgets the birthday.
Yeah, in the morning...
For the second year in a row.
Yeah, because in the morning he's like, oh, I have to work, I have to do inventory tonight, because he's a pharmacist at like a mom
It's like a bodega. It's a bodega. Bodega pharmacy. Or it's like, it looks like an apothecary with all the glass bottles on the shelves and shit.
And the owner of this pharmacy is the only white character, and she's like this crazy old lady. She's so weird.
She is very strange.
And so anyway, like, the main character is really sad because she got flowers from the classmate guy, and she thought they were from her husband.
Yeah, she thought they were...
But they weren't. And so she gets home, and she, like, knows that her husband totally forgot. And when he gets home, she's, like, upset. So she, like, puts a cupcake on the counter that, like, she got at work with, like, a candle in it and, like, blows it out, like, kind of poor me. And then he's, like, he realizes he forgot. And so he puts on that cowboy hat.
Yeah, he like strips down to his like cut off jean shorts and does like a sexy cowboy dance, which is not skilled and it's not sexy at all.
Oh my gosh.
Like nobody thinks that's sexy at all.
And so the next main thing that happens is that the classmate guy and the main character go on a trip together, a business trip.
Is this where he takes her on a private plane and like date rapes her?
Yeah.
He takes her to the Bones. They join the Mile High Club immediately.
But it's really awkward because at first she's like, no, don't touch me. Like, this is inappropriate.
Literally, it's like
a rape happening. Like, the level that she's, like, stopping and she's like,
she said no. And it's not like, please keep going. It's like, no. Like, don't continue doing what you're doing, please.
And then he, like, suddenly convinces her. And she's
says,
like, okay, that's fine.
Say, you actually said no or whatever. It's
like,
no. Like, I'm still saying no. Get the fuck off of me, weirdo.
It was so
He was super creepy the entire movie, though. He's so intense. Like, he would stare through everybody.
Yeah, and then they got back home, and they had, like, you know, this thing going on between them, and so she stays over at his house one night, and they, like, wake up in the morning or whatever, and he, like, gets out some cocaine.
Yep.
Remember? And it's just like...
Oh, you country girls don't know about this shit. This is a big city, so whatever.
And so he's acting all, like, badass about, like, having cocaine and stuff.
They just get fucking high as fuck on cocaine, Scarface style.
Like, it's crazy because she does, like, one line and then she's, like, a crazy acting all, like, coked out. Like, she's been on, like, a week-long bender or something.
It's like, it goes from 0 to 60 overnight. It's like, she's just snorting, like, lines off of dirty bathrooms. Dirty toilets in a public bathroom somewhere.
It's like so disgusting. Then they go to like this like club, which is so crazy.
It looks like hell. Like it looks like This is where demons hang out. Like, it looks like a fucking, like, satanic cult hangs out
Yeah,
there.
and there's like weird lights and stuff.
Fire. There's like pyrotechnics, weren't there? Yeah.
And it's totally insane. So her husband comes to like rescue her and be like, we need to get this on the right track and stuff. But
she tells him to fuck straight off and continues to snort
and
all the cocaine she can
acting
find.
Like so crazy and just like
she's been on coke for a week and she's acting like
she's been on it for like 10 years.
She's been
straight.
like a meth addict for 10 years, yeah.
And so anyway, remember she gets home and like her mom is there.
Oh yeah, with all those women praying for her.
And they're like, so her mom is religious and like praying for her to like change her crazy ways, which have been going on for like a few days.
Yeah, for like a week tops.
And like they're like holding hands in the living room and like praying and like rocking around.
And then what's his name goes? Harley comes in and she acts like he is literally Satan, like not just a bad guy. He's like he is evil and Satan. And then he just pushes her on the floor, like on her face.
He like smacks the mom and stuff. And so this whole time there's this side story with Moesha, who is
Moesha.
Yeah, remember?
Who?
Moesha.
Who's Moesha?
Like Brandy.
Brandy, right?
Yeah, and so she's like this side character. She was on the show Moesha.
Oh, I have no idea.
Wasn't she?
Anyways, Brandy is in the movie. Nobody cares because it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
It does not matter.
She's like this side character, and she's always talking about how like her ex-boyfriend. she like works part-time at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
And she's always talking about how like she's real scared of her ex-boyfriend, and she like changed her name to like Karen or something. To try to hide from him.
She's hiding from him. She just moved across the city.
So we come to find out that her ex-boyfriend is actually Harley, the guy that the main character is having an affair with.
Right.
And it turns out that he's like really violent because the main character goes home with him one night when they're like high on cocaine or whatever.
Yeah.
And he beats the shit out of her.
Punches the fuck out of her. Yeah.
Doesn't like her husband come and like save the day or something?
I have no idea. I don't remember that part of the movie, I'll be honest with you.
So I think, and there's like all this crazy stuff like shattering glass and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like real action packed with this fight.
For real.
With this domestic fight.
That's not even the craziest part of this movie by far. We've already said it in the beginning. He has AIDS. He gave Moesha AIDS, and he gave the marriage counselor AIDS. She has AIDS.
Yeah.
Everyone has AIDS. AIDS, AIDS, AIDS. Yes.
And so it's like really awkward because then they fast forward to present day or the future.
It's the future. It's like 15 years in the future.
So it's like,
but it looks exactly like they don't. Neither one of these flashback times look any different. They look the exact same. The fashion, the cars, everything's the same.
Just like different lighting.
But the pharmacist ages 25 years at least. Yeah.
But nobody else does.
He's an old man.
And so anyway, the main character like comes up into the pharmacy to get her AIDS medication, and it's like awkward because the pharmacist is still her ex-husband, and he has like his hot wife there.
Yeah, he turned her flat down after she cheated and did cocaine and had
like
AIDS.
5 kids or whatever.
And happily married to this younger woman, much younger.
She was a lot younger, and she was really pretty.
So apparently they just run into each other every single day just so she can get her AIDS cocktail to stay alive. That's the only contact they have anymore.
Yeah, and so then
credits.
The credits were so long at the end, and she's just like walking into the distance with like her bag of AIDS medication for like minutes.
Fade to black.
Yeah.
That's the end.
And so it's kind of like messed up that she got AIDS. I feel like it kind of like it's like a consequence for doing bad things.
I know.
Is like why people get
I feel
AIDS.
like we didn't establish the fact that there was so much crazy shit that happened in this movie that like getting AIDS was not as crazy as it might have seemed if you hadn't seen the movie already.
Cool. And so I actually brought up a little bit of information about this real quick. So I brought up the Wikipedia page, and this is the highest grossing Tyler Perry movie. The highest grossing Tyler Perry drama.
That's not a Medea movie.
It's the highest grossing Tyler Perry movie not starring Tyler Perry.
Right, Medea basically. So it's the best movie without Medea in it.
Yeah. So it grossed $51 million.
That's a lot. That's a successful film.
So they definitely came out like in the black.
Shit, he's laughing all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
Even though this was an absolutely terrible movie. So if you're looking for a bad movie to watch,
I would recommend it highly because it's so insane.
Me too.
It was enjoyable.
It was enjoyably bad.
It's terrible.
It was one crazy turn after another.
Everyone has AIDS. That's
Just
it.
AIDS.
Just AIDS.
AIDS.